Just put out the files and stop redacting names that don't need to be redacted. It's just, who are we trying to protect? Are we protecting the survivors, or are we protecting these elite men that need to be put out there? And people need to know these are predators that are in the files. They need to be brought to justice so they can stop um, doing this in the long run. It's for everyone's safety at the end of the day.
A political firestorm has erupted in the United States. Thousands of long secret court documents linked to convicted dead sex offender Jeffrey Epstein finally made public by the U.S. Department of Justice. The release, billed as a transparency breakthrough, instead triggered chaos, suspicion, and outrage. As shocking names surfaced, so did claims of missing files, website crashes, and heavy redactions. The question asked is whether the Trump administration is trying to save big names and avoid further embarrassment. The U.S. Department of Justice uploaded nearly 4,000 secret documents related to dead sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, showing his global web of power and privilege. Within minutes of disclosure, thousands of users flooded social media, complaining that the pages wouldn't load, files appear blank, visitors are stuck in an endless waiting line, website glitches, missing documents, and redactions, and some documents simply missing. At 3 p.m. Friday, the DOJ website went live with the documents. Website visitors, however, said they were shown in line on the page, which never advanced and would occasionally crash. For hours, the name of President Donald Trump did not appear in the searchable file. Trump, who once publicly acknowledged knowing Epstein, was among many wealthy and powerful figures in Epstein's social orbit before the scandal erupted. Was the absence a coincidence or calculation? Amid glitches, critics described it as an incomplete release and extensive redactions. The backlash crossed party lines. Republican Party Representative Thomas Massie joined Democrat R. O'Connor, a co-sponsor of the Epstein Files Transparency Act, accusing the Justice Department of an incomplete release that may violate the law.
The Justice Department's document dump this afternoon does not comply with Thomas Massie and my Epstein Transparency Act. They released one document from a New York grand jury of 119 pages, totally blacked out. This despite a federal judge ordering them to release that document. And our law requires them to explain redactions. There's not a single explanation for why that entire document was redacted. We have not seen the draft indictment that implicates other rich and powerful men who were on Epstein's rape island, who either watched the abuse of young girls or participated in the abuse of young girls and the sex trafficking. The reality is Pam Bondi has obfuscated for months. She first said there were no more documents to be seen. Now she's admitting and releasing hundreds of thousands of documents, but it is an incomplete release with too many redactions. Thomas Massie and I are exploring all options. It can be the impeachment of people at justice, inherent contempt, or referring for prosecution those who are obstructing justice. We will work with the survivors to demand the full release of these files, to demand justice for the Epstein class and accountability.
But the most damning criticism came from the survivors themselves. Marina Lacerda, who had publicly identified herself a few months ago as someone who Jeffrey Epstein abused, said, "Stop redacting names. Who are we trying to protect?"
Just put out the files and stop redacting names that don't need to be redacted. It's just, who are we trying to protect? Are we protecting the survivors, or are we protecting these elite men that need to be put out there? And people need to know these are predators that are in the files. They need to be brought to justice so they can stop doing this in the long run. It's for everyone's safety at the end of the day. I haven't gone through all of it, so I don't want to speak. I don't want to say the wrong things, but I do understand that also a lot of um, important, people have been redacted from it. And the whole process of being transparent was to only redact the survivors and the victims' names. So here we are right where we started with the first files. These names that need to be put out there, people need to know about these people, have been redacted. So it's a little bit confusing. I feel like, again, the DOJ, the justice system, is failing us. In the beginning, they were calling us a hoax, right? They were like saying that we were a hoax. And now they're like, we believe you. We're going to release the files. But yet you still haven't released the files and it's not even full transparent. So it's very nice to say it, but it's also nice to actually do it.
Facing mounting pressure, the Department of Justice pushed back. The DOJ issued a clarification saying redaction of information was required to identify victims or minors. In a letter to Congress, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche said the documents underwent a rigorous review and redaction process involving over 200 lawyers, and that certain components produced tranches of files this week that required more time to review. Blanche said he expected the rest of the files to be uploaded to the website within 2 weeks. The latest tranche of files related to Epstein include more photos of the wealth advisor with wealthy and powerful people from around the world. The documents include images of former U.S. President Bill Clinton, Michael Jackson, Richard Branson, Diana Ross, Bill Gates, Chris Trucker, and Prince Andrew. While Epstein also had a past relationship with President Donald Trump, references to Trump in the released files are limited according to the documents. So, was this a historic step toward justice, or a carefully managed release designed to protect the powerful?